Well, time now for the day sports. Good evening and welcome. My name is Wahiga Mwaura. We start with athletics, where suspended Athletics Kenya Chief Executive Officer Isaac Mwangi has suffered a major blow after the IAAF Ethics Board rejected an appeal he had filed challenging his dismissal from the body. Mwangi was suspended for allegedly soliciting bribes from two female athletes who tested positive at the IAAF World Athletics Championships in Beijing last year. Regarding potential subversion of the anti-doping control process. Allegations against him were brought by 400-meter sprinter Joy Sakari and 400-meter hurdler Francisca Koki Manunga, who claimed that he asked for bribes to reduce their suspensions, and when they failed to pay up, they were both suspended for 4 years each a week later. Mwangi denied any wrongdoing and challenged the ban last month. In a statement, the Ethics Board said that it has dismissed Mwangi's challenge on account that he has failed to identify anything by way of evidence or analysis which sufficiently undermines the case. In his appeal, Mwangi said that both athletes were found guilty of violating anti-doping rules and hence their evidence should not be trusted. Meanwhile, Senior Counsel Sharad Rao has confirmed to Citizen TV that he will hand over evidence in the cases affecting suspended Athletics Kenya President Isaiah Kiplagat, Vice President David Okeo, and former Treasurer Joseph Kinyua to the IAAF mid-next month. The trio was suspended in November last year for 180 days each, a period which should expire in May. Elsewhere, members of the public have less than 7 days to contribute to the Anti-Doping Bill of 2016. According to a notice printed in today's newspaper, the Anti-Doping Bill 2016 has undergone the first reading and is now committed to the Departmental Committee on Labour and Social Welfare for consideration before being returned to the House. This departmental committee shall facilitate public participation and shall take into account views and recommendations of the public. Any feedback should be given before Thursday, the 14th of April 2016 at 5 p.m. Well, good news for Kenya. The national sevens team started their Hong Kong sevens campaign on solid footing with a 24-0 thrashing of Samoa at the Hong Kong Stadium. Nelson Oyo gave Kenya its first try after a superb run to give Kenya the lead. The sevens team were at it again. This time William Baka raced down the half line after receiving a good pass from Collins Injera for the second try. Humphrey Hayange added the third try after Injera cut through the phases, handing his elder brother his 153rd try. Kayange then completed the clean sheet after a brilliant interception from Samoan pass, racing down for his second try of the day. The boys meet world champions New Zealand tomorrow. That's at 6:40 a.m. and they hope to pull a fast one on them as they did in Las Vegas when they edged them out 22-0.
Injera is going to go through and just put it on the button on the outside. They're in again. This time round it's Kayange. Oh, trouble, massive trouble. The second that pass went, Samoa knew they were in strife because lurking was big. Humphrey Kayange, and he's got two.
Well, it's the defence where all the half work came from.
We are still focused on a game at a time. We are focusing on our next game. We are not planning very high. We are focusing on a game at a time as we go on in the tournament.
There's lots of improvement, I think, and also the boys being fresh and all, it makes a huge difference. Even our first game, I think, we're very clinical and we did what exactly we did. What we wanted to do is stop Samoa off the ball because they're very generous with the ball in hand, and the defense was quite remarkable. So those two aspects really won us the game.
Well, we stay with rugby, but on the women's front, the Kenya Lionesses claimed the Hong Kong Women's Sevens Bowl title with a 29-0 win over Sri Lanka at the Hong Kong Football Club in Hong Kong. Janet Akello scored the first try for Kenya. Celestine Masinde gave Kenya her second try, which was duly converted. Akello landed a second try after the restart. Kenya going 17-0 up. Orlando played in Masinde, who rounded her defender and scored outside the posts for the fourth try. Sheila Chijira slotted home the final try for that victory.
No wonder. How does it look so nice?
Well, away from rugby, Borussia Dortmund and Liverpool played out to a 1-1 draw where Belgian-born Divock Origi scored in their Europa League tie last night. Elsewhere, Athletic Bilbao failed to capitalize on their home advantage when they suffered a 2-1 defeat at the hands of their Spanish rivals. Here are those highlights.
They've got it to Origi to chase, and he is going to get there first. Divock Origi, and Liverpool just how much this means. Flicked on, and Origi is strong in holding off the challenge of Lucas Piszczek, who maybe didn't do quite enough. And Origi will claim the goal to justify his return to the start. Waits to the referee shed too far. Comes the cross, it's the equalising goal. It's Mats Hummels, hasn't taken Dortmund long. 2.5 minutes into the second half of this first leg.
This is promising. It's Aduriz at the far post. This time he does score. He had a header off the post in the first half, but he hasn't noticed he's behind him. It's the equaliser, surely. Yes, it is. Sevilla are back in it. He's got an option out to the right-hand side if he can find him. He's going to go himself, is he? Oh, they've got one. And he's onside as well. They've turned it around, Sevilla.
And in other stories that made headlines across the world, Manny Pacquiao will be out in the boxing ring tomorrow for what may possibly be his last fight. Also, he claims the 37-year-old will be fighting against 32-year-old Timothy Bradley. They'll meet tomorrow night at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, the venue for their two previous encounters for a WBO welterweight title fight. Pacquiao has won world titles in 6 weight divisions and is currently running for senator in the Philippines. Elsewhere, Brazilian troops launched a series of security exercises on Wednesday with a focus on Rio de Janeiro and anti-terrorism security during the 2016 Rio Olympics. Commandos in full gear rappelled down helicopters with dogs and weapons, taking up defensive positions around Olympic facilities. The Rio drills are part of a larger anti-terrorism training program ordered by Brazilian authorities following last month's Brussels bombing. Dozens of police officers and firefighters are taking part in the drills, with helicopter exercises, of course, run by the Brazilian Special Forces. And finally, Qatari rally driver Nasser Al-Attiyah came away from the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge on Thursday with a win in the car category, while Australia's Toby Price took the bike saddle on his first visit to the event. The challenge is the second round of the FIA Cross Country Rally World Cup. Latvia's Maris Mekans had won round 1. Well, Della and her crew have just checked into studio. That is my cue to leave. But before I leave, the hashtag is one-on-one, the hashtag is Lilian_Muli, and the hashtag is Della with 1L Muziki. Let's go talking. That interview is up next.